Why do some brands, ideas, and leaders manage to touch us deeply, earn our trust, and build loyal communities around them? And why do others, despite being technically flawless, go unnoticed, struggle to engage, and are eventually forgotten? This fundamental question is at the heart of Simon Sinek's now iconic book, Start With Why. Behind that simple phrase lies a powerful truth. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Until you become crystal clear about your why, your projects are likely to lack direction, depth, and lasting impact. The first lesson from this book is that discovering your why changes everything. Most people build their projects by starting with the what. I want to launch an app, open a restaurant, write a book. Some go a bit further and think about how. What's the budget? What's the strategy? But very few pause to ask why they're doing it. Not to make money or to succeed, but truly why. What is driving them deep down? What's the mission, the vision, the frustration, or the deeply rooted desire that fuels them? That why is what provides clarity. It gives identity. It becomes your anchor. Take the example of Apple, which Sinek explores in depth. Apple isn't just a company that sells computers. It's a brand that represents rebellion, creativity, and the freedom to think differently. That philosophy is embedded in everything they do. People don't buy Apple products for the number of pixels or the speed of the processor. They buy a worldview, a statement of values, a mindset. And it's the same for you. If you're building a project, a brand, a business, a personal platform, ask yourself, what idea am I serving? What transformation do I want to bring into the world? From that point forward, everything else starts to align. The second big lesson is this: a strong why attracts much more than just customers. When you're clear about your true motivation, you no longer have to convince or push people. You become magnetic. You start drawing in people who believe what you believe. People who resonate with your message. And those people aren't just buyers. They become loyal supporters, evangelists, and advocates. These are the ones who stick with you, even when competitors arise, even when your product changes, even when prices go up, because they're not here for what you offer. They're here for what you stand for. This goes far beyond marketing or sales. It applies in the workplace, in activism, in relationships. The most committed employees aren't the ones who chase the highest salaries. They're the ones who believe in the mission. The most devoted volunteers aren't the ones with the most time. They're the ones who share the same cause. Even in personal life, real connection is built on shared values more than shared activities. In short, knowing your why allows you to build a community, not just an audience. A following that endures not because of trends or tactics, but because of meaning. The third major lesson: your why is a compass in chaos. In today's world, there are endless options, strategies, advice, and comparisons. It's incredibly easy to get lost. You start with enthusiasm, but soon doubt creeps in. You hesitate, you get distracted by what others are doing, you jump from idea to idea, you try to please everyone, and in the process you lose your core identity. But your why acts as a filter. It brings you back to center. With every decision, every new opportunity, every potential pivot, you can ask one question: does this serve my why? Does this move me closer to what I truly stand for? That's how you reduce noise. You stop chasing shiny distractions. You stop spreading yourself too thin. You do less, but better. And most importantly, you stay grounded. That clarity doesn't just make your life easier. It makes your message sharper, your energy more focused, and your results more sustainable. You no longer need to look outside for validation. You have an internal guide. Lesson number 4. The why comes before the how and the what. Sinek introduces a concept he calls the golden circle. Picture 3 concentric circles. At the core is the why. Around it is the how. On the outside is the what. Most people communicate from the outside in. Here's what I do. Here's how I do it. Oh, and here's why, if you're curious. But the most inspiring leaders do the opposite. They start from the inside out. Here's why I do what I do. Here's how I bring that to life. And here's what it looks like in practice. That small shift completely transforms how your message is received. Starting with why speaks directly to the emotional part of the brain, the part that makes decisions based on intuition, trust, and meaning. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't say, "I have a plan." He said, "I have a dream." He spoke of vision, of purpose, and that's what mobilized millions. Even if your offer isn't perfect, even if your product isn't revolutionary, if your message is authentic and grounded in a clear why, you will inspire. You will attract the right people, not just buyers, but believers. And finally, lesson 5, a powerful why isn't something you sell. It's something you share. It's not a pitch or a clever tagline. It's not a bullet point on a website. It's a fire within, something that radiates through everything you say and do. This why doesn't need to be grand or dramatic. It can be subtle, intimate, but it must be real. And when it is, people feel it. Even when you're not speaking directly, your why will show up in your presence, your energy, your choices. Sinek emphasizes that your why is not something you invent. It's something you discover. It's already within you, shaped by your stories, your experiences, your passions, and even your wounds. And once you uncover it, your entire life begins to take a new shape. You may still face obstacles. You may need to adapt, but your core will remain stable. And that internal consistency is what builds resilience, trust, and influence over time. In the end, Start With Why isn't a book about selling more. It's a book about living better, about finding alignment, about daring to lead with purpose, and about building something that outlives you, not just because it's profitable, but because it matters. In a world obsessed with speed, tactics, and short-term wins, choosing to start with why might feel slow. But it's exactly that deep sense of clarity and direction that allows you to last, to grow with integrity, to speak with conviction, and to leave behind something that actually means something. So, if there's one thing to take away from this book, it's this. Don't ask first what you want to do. Ask why it needs to exist, and let that answer guide everything else.